Terry Henderson is one of Australia's most influential racehorse owners. Through his business OTI, he's created a huge splash. Let's find out more about him. Thanks for joining us, Terry. As you head into another spring carnival, so long in the game, so much success personally and with OTI racing. Have you still got the buzz for it?
Well, when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're thinking about what's going to happen that day or what might have happened yesterday, I certainly do, Adam. It's still the same.
All right, let's get into a few of the prospects this spring carnival, starting with I'm Thunderstruck, only a few weeks away from coming back this campaign.
At the 100 to Fane, I'm Thunderstruck, stride for stride. I'm Thunderstruck, finishes hard, gets a neck in front and won the Toorak.
Yes, trial early August, 2 trials into the Menzie. Probably either another 4 runs or 3 runs, hopefully into the Cox Plate from there. He's got potentially five Group 1s ahead of him this campaign.
How exciting a horse is he?
Look, he is. He's got the looks to go with his talent, as we know. He's just one of those horses that's, for a shocking, who you don't really think come along early or you don't really think are milers. He's a little bit of an enigma, but he's done everything we could ever wish with a racehorse so far. And the signs are that this prep, unlike last prep where he came back a little heavy, he's come back in great condition this time.
Well, that's exciting. Speaking of exciting, any other bright prospects for OTI this spring?
Cadazio won at Geelong a couple of weeks ago. Looks a very exciting horse, again with Mick Price.
And Cadazio, living up to the price, has got on to score by 2.5 lengths.
He's certainly on a Derby prep, and I think he's one to really watch out for. And Daqiansweet Junior, who won the Adelaide Cup, then ran a terrific third on a very wet Sydney Cup day. He's in great form.
Terry, let's wind the clock back. A lot of people watching this may not realise you actually started in racing, in harness racing.
Very much so, and still love it. Very fortunate during the late 80s and into the 90s to have some lovely horses.
None better than Chokin. He was an out-and-out champion.
People say to me, what's the best horse you've ever owned? And I say Chokin, and they say, what? But he is at that level. I think he won 12 Group 1s, and I think he won 13 on the trot as a 2-year-old.
What got you into thoroughbred racing? What sort of brought about that transition across?
Well, it really wasn't a transition because during the 80s, we raced a number of thoroughbreds with Colin Hayes. He said one day, look, you guys seem to do it better than the fellows that were in thoroughbred racing. Why don't you do some more and I'll give you 4 to start. Colin, well, he didn't give them
Ever
2.
the salesman.
Ever the salesman. That really gave us the kick on, and of course, Doremus came along a few years later.
Count Chivas and Boart from Doremus. Count Chivas, Boart, Doremus. Doremus coming at Count Chivas. Doremus got it a neck to Count Chivas. Third is Boart, and they're followed by Pratara's Bay.
And tell us about Doremus, the raw product he was that came out of New Zealand and just went bang.
Yes, well, I'll put a lot of credit down to Lee Friedman. We bought the horse off Jimmy Gibbs, who stayed in the horse. He started in Queensland in his first race. Lee, I vividly remember him telling me, he said, look, if this horse is so skinny, if he can run in the first half dozen, he won't be too bad. Well, he took 2 seconds off the class record that day over 2,000 metres. So Lee then said, look, if we manage this horse properly, I think we're going to have a really nice horse in 18 months or so. And that's exactly what he did. So come the Spring Carnival of 1995, the horse was ready. We struck some wet tracks, which was perfect for him. And of course, the rest is history.
Well, one of only 9 horses to win the double. That's pretty remarkable.
Yes, it was. And he was a freak of a horse, a lovely horse. And he spent his last days until about 3 years ago over at Living Legends.
And he almost completed the double. That was the infamous day, the salute of Greg Hall, wasn't it? Did you think you'd won that cup?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And you can normally tell from, if you've watched enough races, and I thought Hawley had gone a little early. But it would have been an injustice to Might and Power, who I think is one of the greatest horses to have raced that I've seen. And he'd sort of fought off 4 or 5 challenges, and Doremus had the last peg, but he just didn't get there. But no, we didn't think we'd won.
And OTI was born soon after that, wasn't it, with Simon O'Donnell?
Yes, Simon had an idea to send some mares to America, actually. That was in a time when we had these American shuttle stallions coming out. servicing our mares for a fraction of the price that they were in the States, and we thought we could sell them back.
Is trailblazer too big of a term? Because what you did buying horses from over there, it wasn't the done thing at all from Europe and that, was it?
No, it wasn't. And we were certainly the first to actually go back. And I vividly remember a couple of people that are now doing it who have been quite successful doing it, saying, oh, we did this back in the 80s and it just doesn't work. But it did work. And of course, now I think there's something like 300 or 400 horses come in every year from Europe. It's an amazing part of our fabric as a racing industry, and I think it's the richer for it.
That Doremus photo finish, that's not the only dramatic photo finish you've been involved in a Melbourne Cup. Tell us about the other one.
The other one was Bauer, and of course we thought we had one that day. Simon and I were standing with our wives in the stand, and at Flemington, if your horse's bum is in front of the other horse's bum, you've normally won. And it was. But unfortunately, View's nose was in front of Bauer's, and we just went down. But it was very disappointing that day because we did think we'd won.
Just a few of the better horses through the OTI time. Over 100 group and listed race wins, 10 of them at Group 1 level. A few of the special horses, Managar.
He goes to the lead, Managar, and he's racing clear, Managar. Too classy. Managar beat Shadowfax by 2 lengths.
Well, Managar, he was a very good horse. He ran second in the Prix de Paris, which was when we bought him. He was a gelding, a rangy sort of a horse, not the most attractive looking horse. Bred to run 1.5 miles and had never run 1.5 miles before he arrived with Pete Moody. Pete put speed into the horse, came out first up, won a Group 3 over 1,600 metres, and then went on to win the Randvet Australia Cup and the BMW. Again, you talk about great training efforts. Peter did a magnificent job with that horse.
As good as he was, would Galo Shop nearly have been your favourite?
Galo Shop is strong to the line, and Galo Shop won it by 1.25 single gaze, who chased so hard.
Yes, and still is. He's still around. Galo, he did it from scratch. He was a $6,000 yearling in the south of France, trained by a guy who couldn't speak English, so our early conversations were quite interesting because my French isn't that flash. But he was a highest rated 3-year-old in the end in France. Couldn't run in the classics because he was already gelded and you can't over there. Then came out with Anton de Vontregent to run in the McKinnon and won that. Did a tendon. When he did the tendon, we brought him back here and had a tendon rehabbed here with Lee Everson, who's a great trotting man, and Matty Williams, and then Weary won another couple of Group 1s with him after that. So a remarkable horse, a lovely horse, and he was just a real pleasure to... And took our owners, I might add, on an enormous journey. He went to about 5 countries, and it was great following him around.
Good on you, Terry. So good to catch up today, and best of luck as you head into another Spring Carnival.
Pleasure, Adam.